Everybody's meeting. Ninth meeting of the Council of Clyde Park is now commenced. I just need to make a notice to everybody that because our town population is now more than 300, we are required to record and make available the entire recordings of our meetings. So everything that is said in it, it's both an audio and a video recording. Everything that is said and done will be available in perpetuity unless somebody trips over the cord and the whole thing goes down and we're back to writing on stone tablets. Yeah. Okay. Roll call, please.
Okay, James Walsh.
Here.
Roger Chandler. Absent. Dave Saracen,
Here.
Teresa Sari.
Here.
Brian Eckenrod,
Here.
Mayor Wiley,
Here.
Stacy Mills, clerk.
Here.
Treasurer. Bo
Here.
Danish, DSO. Luann Barr, deputy clerk here.
Very good, thank you. Let us all stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I am excited to see some people here. I'm going to take a moment to kind of go through the order of speakers for the and the rules around that. Since we are being recorded, we are going to hold the meeting as tightly as possible to the rules and regulations of how these things are to be run, and for efficiency and time management as well. So you have on your agenda the basic things, but I will go on to say that we're gonna start here. For an agenda presentation, the presenter will be allowed 6 minutes on each side, depending. And any comments thereafter will be limited to 3 minutes, same as all the others. To be recognized, each person desiring to give comment, testimony, or evidence shall step to the lectern, and after being recognized by the chair, give his or her name and address before testifying, commenting, or presenting other evidence. In this case, we do not have a lectern for the purposes of the recording. So the owl can clearly record everything. I will need you to stand at the end of the table and to speak clearly. All comments, testimony, and evidence shall be directed to the presiding officer or the chair. No questions shall be asked of a council member except through the presiding officer, chair, representative, oh, that part's not important. Members of the audience addressing the council shall limit their comments, testimony, or evidence to relevant information which has not already been presented to the council. Repetitious comments, testimony, or evidence will not be accepted. Comments, testimony, or evidence must be relevant and presented orderly. No person other than a member of the council and the person recognized by the chair as having the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion. The mayor and town clerk shall present the item to the council along with a brief summary of the matter for discussion and determination. For reason of clarification, council members may direct questions to the mayor, who may then request assistance from the employees in responding. Comments from the applicant proponent will then be heard by the commission. Council members may direct questions to the applicant proponent. Members of the audience will be invited to present testimony or evidence, beginning with those in favor of the proposal. Thereafter, the council shall hear from those opposed to the proposal. A member of the council may direct questions to any person so testifying for the purposes of clarification only. Debate between members of the council and members of the audience will not be allowed. The proponents will then have the opportunity for rebuttal limited to addressing issues raised from the public comment, testimony, or evidence presented in opposition. Comments, testimony, or evidence not previously presented by the applicant will not be allowed during rebuttal unless permission is granted by the chair. I would like to remind everyone that, particularly council members, that as we stepped through that door, we are no longer Teresa Sari, Brian Eckenrod, James Walsh, Sydney Wiley. We are council member or Councillor Sari, Councillor Brian, so on and so forth, Mayor Wiley. Thank you all. Okay, next on the agenda is visitor comments on non-agenda items. So I invite you to step up to the table and state your name and address and continue.
Rachel Benninger, 209 Park Avenue, Clyde Park. I just have a curiosity, a question that maybe the mayor can find out at her conference. How many other Montana small towns or cities have staff that live outside of the state? That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Tracy Fremont. I live at 312 Park Avenue. In case you didn't know, it was my cat that was taken and adopted out.
Tracy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is an item on the agenda, so you will have a chance to give comment on
Okay.
that at the time of the agenda. This is for non-agenda items.
Non-agenda items. Where's the list of the agenda items?
It's on the agenda.
Is it a new business? Yeah.
On the back. There's no,
Yeah,
Eight,
new business eight.
Oh, right at the top.
By Kathy.
8A.
That's
This is
not,
very
that's
starting.
not that thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not bad.
Oh, well, I have a lot more than 3 minutes worth of talk.
Sean, you wanted to?
Hi, Sean Jones, 414 First Street East in Clyde Park. So I wanted to just come and just kind of, well, first of all, turn in that pre-application. Now the engineer's gonna do a much more detailed version of that.
This is for 203 Lathrop Street West, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah. And so I thought I'd just give you a little bit of information as I'm doing it, just so we can all be a little bit familiar with what we're running into. One thing just to be aware of, the engineer said that in the literature, I tried to figure out where it was, but I don't know, that there is a stipulation that the preliminary plat needs to be done within 4 months, or you have to start the whole thing over again. I'd like to just ask the council to think about that, because it takes anywhere from 12 to 15 months to do this. And if you're like, she didn't want me to turn that in because she said it, then it narrows her down, but every month counts. You know what I'm saying? That's what just drags it on another month and another month. So I would assume, and I don't want to assume, but if we're going through this process and we're bringing stuff, submitting stuff, I can't imagine that you would make us start over, would you? I mean,
I can't answer that.
Can I speak to it?
Finish your comments, Sean, first, please.
okay, so that was one thing that came up in the process that I think could be helped. This, I was just gonna leave some general maps of what we're kind of hoping to do down there. So I was gonna leave some of those. The. The other thing. I'm a little curious just to understand, do you know, I know it wasn't you guys that per se did this or this council, but you know, the regulations were the 10,000 square feet or 3 lots. And then when you subdivide, you have to go to a half an acre or 20,000 square feet.
If it's a.
If it's
an
un-
outlot.
Yeah,
It's an
if,
outlot.
if it's an outlot. My question is I just am trying to understand the theory behind that. If 10,000 square feet works for everything else, like for instance, this land split, there's 4 lots that when it's broken up, they're 0.42 acres. Great lots. I mean, lots sell all over quarter acre lots, you know, in other cities and stuff. I'm curious, like, why half acre? You know, so it really changes everything that we've already done with this, you know, and now I read that and go, oh, now we need a, you know, and with the existing house already being on there, you can't change that. So that's already one of those things. And it's just one of those things when you're trying to make affordable housing for the community, if you're trying to get land that people can buy cheaply, the more regulation like this, it just drives costs up. So I guess do you think there's, and this isn't for Sean Jones, I'm not trying to do this in my benefit, just anybody that's doing it. If a 10,000 square foot lot works for sanitarian, if it works for, you know, the rest of your ordinances, why would a 15,000 square foot lot or 17,000 square foot lot not make sense? So that's a thought, I guess I'd just like you to think about. The other thing I'd like to just have you think about is, so far I'll have about 75 grand into just this land divide. And that doesn't cost, or that doesn't count any of the city's expenses or Great West. So as I'm going through this, when I have to hire an engineering company to do this, and it has to go through the state, okay, 99% of all of it is handled and done through the state, right? I mean, you have to, Sean Jones can't pull one over on the city because the state handles everything, which is why it's so costly and time consuming.
Sean, can you be a little more brief, please? Go ahead.
No, I can't do it. I tried to call to be on the agenda and they said I could just come and do this, so.
I apologize. Go ahead then.
You know what, it's fine.
But
It's,
the council members may have questions to ask of you.
Can I just make one comment? We
Yeah.
are talking about our subdivision regulations and the thing you said about the 4 months. That is absolutely in our subdivision regulations. We have it up on the wall. We're very clear as strict guidelines, and that's to protect you from us dragging our feet, or the engineering firm that we hire dragging their feet. So once you turn this in, we will get the process rolling with them and stay within the legal timeframes. They're good at it. Great West is good at it.
well, the actual engineering company that's dealing with them right now on the other subdivision said it's a nightmare. Said that's the holdup is and what I was gonna say was that. So I hire an engineering company that does all the legwork. They present all this to you. They get it approved through the state. With you guys now going through Great West, they're the exact same engineering company with the exact same credentials that now I have to pay $7,500 to them to just look it over. Now, I get that there is some things that the city might require that the state doesn't. But I looked through the building permits and there's like 10 things is all that could be applicable above and beyond what the state does. Say, for instance, if you built on a corner, you have to be 20 feet off, 5 feet, you know. There's literally 5 or 6 things that the city has that would be in addition to what the state would require. So my question is, if I'm hiring an engineering company to do this and the state handles everything, why do we have to spend another $7,500? I mean, you can literally take your ordinances and go, okay, there's a corner lot, there's this. He needs a culvert on that one. It's all handled. This is what makes, this is why we can't have affordable housing. And I'm not directing it at you. I'm more saying as we work through this, I don't mean this to any of you personally, not at all. And most of this you had nothing to do with. So forgive me if I'm coming across at you, because I'm not. I'm more saying what they did in the past. That's why nobody can afford to buy. It's like when you go to build something, this guy's 75 grand, this guy's 8,000, and they're doing the exact same job. So anyway, I just hope that you can look at that and say, if you hire an engineering company to get it approved through the state, it's totally redundant, with the exception of 5 things that any planning board or council could look at. And if they're gonna charge me another $7,000 or $8,000, it seems unnecessary.
We will have the planning board review this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your comments, John. Council, do you have any other questions you want to ask for clarification? Go ahead, Brian.
My 2 questions would be, well, they're more of comments, the 20,000 versus 10,000. I can't speak for why they did that, but you know, common sense or my gut tells me it was more to have density closer to downtown versus on the outside of town, give or take. Since that's been around forever, if we didn't have that 20,000 square feet on outlots, I mean, Sunnyside was looking at putting,
Brian.
36 homes in there.
But this is speculative and
Okay.
I think we need to.
But I guess my point, I'm just trying to answer some of his concerns is like, there has to be some kind of checks and balances. So while I don't think the 70, again, the 2 engineering firms I can't speak for, but we have to have kind of an unbiased firm that the town hires. I mean, that represents the town is my
You're required to
understanding.
have a subdivision administrator, that is correct.
And so it's required and, they're kind of like representing the town. I guess without being long-winded, I'll refrain from saying.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I understand what you're saying.
Thank you. We will have the planning board really dig into that particular point and see if there are options. Other ways of doing it that could meet what you're saying about the ability things.
Would you like us also to dig into the possibility of an ordinance change to revisit the outlot size?
Well, absolutely. And if you could present specific actions on the ordinances that you could foresee the council should consider, I will definitely take those from.
Citizen brought it up, we should look at it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Any other non-agenda items?
Becca Pinson, Forks of Lathrop. 2 questions. One, I tried to look and couldn't find it. If you want to put a carport up, like a one you can take down, do you have to have a permit? Like you can take, it's a canvas takedown, we take down during the summer.
Temporary, like.
Does it have a pad?
No, it's going around our boat for the winter.
Oh.
Do we have to have a permit?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
Not permanent, right?
no, we're taking it down during the summer.
The codes are vague.
That's
So
why I
another
was
thing
asked.
that we need to look at.
Question number 2 is, I know our budget's tight, why are we wasting money putting white lines on gravel roads?
Thank you.
That
for-
they're gone.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody have any council members, any questions of the speaker? Okay. Anything else? Okay. Moving along. Next on the agenda is minutes. Deputy, read the minutes of the last meeting.
Minutes town of Clyde Park Council meeting September 10th, 2015. Call to order. Mayor Sidney Wiley called the 9th regular meeting of 2025 to order at 7:01 p.m. Roll call, council members present, Dave Saracen, James Walsh, Brian Eckenrod, Teresa Sari, Roger Chandler. Staff present, Mayor Sidney Wiley, Stacy Mills, Clerk Treasurer, Luann Barr, Deputy Clerk, Bo Danish, CSO Water Operator. Pledge of Allegiance, all stood and recited the Pledge of Allegiance. Visitor comments and presentation. Carla Williams, 204 3rd Avenue South, inquired about boulevard cleanup and reseeding. Lisa Thielen, representatives of Valley Christmas Fair, presented plans for the combined Festival of Trees and Christmas Fair. Requested permission for street closures, parade, and post-parade float viewing. Food vendors and a family movie event on Thanksgiving weekend. Motion by Dave Saracen, seconded by Brian Eckenrod to approve the event and authorize the mayor to sign the special event application. The motion passed unanimously. Minutes, August 13, 2025 minutes reviewed and approved as written. Motion by James Walsh, seconded by Teresa Sari. The motion passed unanimously. Recognition. Motion by Dave Saracen, seconded by James Walsh to present Good Citizen Awards to Giovanni Defendis and Aaron Jacobs for their assistance during a recent medical emergency. The motion passed unanimously. Mayor's report. Will attend the League of Cities and Towns Conference in Billings in October. Draft preliminary engineering report PER is available on the town website. Great West presentation plan for October, November. Holiday Park sports support community involvement still needed. Suggested forming a Friends of Holiday Park group. Departments and committees. CSO Water Operator Bo Danish. Hydrant pressure testing satisfactory, 65 PSI lower town, 45 PSI at higher elevations. Line painting on gravel streets was a training exercise. Spring box number 5, roots found, may relate to nitrate readings, increased flow after clearing, coordinating with engineers. Planning wildlife awareness event with Park County Environmental Council, bears, lions, wolves. Treasurer Stacy Mills, utility billing $17,657.31 billed, $15,629.60 collected. General checking balance $151,517.85 after $41,195 in debts and $27,715 credits. CenturyLink audit. Canceled usage, canceled unused business listings and inside wire protection, updated long distance plan, reduced monthly bill from $198 to $92, estimated decades long overcharges avoided going forward. Propane locked in at 1,800 gallons at $1.65 gallon summer rate with Madison Propane. Water rates presented options to lower base gallons and adjust overage charges to improve fairness and conservation. Target implementation by January 1st, 2026. Move to October 2025 council meeting. Parks and Recreation, Friends of Holiday Park Group formation pending. The sports court project requires irrigation relocation, site prep, and additional grants and donations. Ordinances, James Walsh, continue codification review, will engage volunteers. Planning and zoning, Teresa Sari. August session with planner Randy Carpenter. 63 acres could support 200 homes. Discussed growth policy updates, trails and subdivisions. The next planning board meeting is scheduled for October 2025. Council emphasized coordination with Park County Planning Board for subdivisions and water hookups. Cemetery Board, August 5th and August 19th meetings. Maintenance memorial donation. Well tested 9 to 10 GPM, 2 faucets added. Fundraiser at Old Settlers raised around $300. Reviewing rules and regulations, considering brochure and pricing adjustments. Solid Waste Board, considering compactors at sites to reduce bear issues and improve monitoring. Potential grant funding via wildlife programs. Financial, claim warrants approved, motion by Dave Sarazin, seconded by Brian Eckenrod. Roger Chandler opposed. Council requested wage salary comparison next month. Comparison received. Unfinished business, bulk water sales, motion by Roger Chandler, seconded by Dave Sarazin to discontinue plans unless approached by a purchaser with funding. The motion passed unanimously. New business, Old Settlers Day proceeds, contribution approximately $700 to the Holiday Park Sports Court project. Motion by Dave Sarazin, seconded by James Walsh. The motion passed unanimously. Traffic control, Third and Lathrop, install appropriate stop yield signage. Motion by James Walsh, seconded by Teresa Sari. The motion passed unanimously. Cemetery CD, transfer $6,000 from Bessie Freeze Fund into a 4-month CD at Bank of the Rockies. Motion by Dave Sarazin, seconded by James Walsh. The motion passed unanimously. AEDs, pursue purchase and or grant funding for 2 AED units, Town Hall and Town Truck. Motion by Teresa Sari, seconded by Brian Eckenrod. The motion passed unanimously. BMS pay, authorized clerk treasurer to contract with BMS pay for billing services. Motion by Brian Eckenrod, seconded by James Walsh. The motion passed unanimously. Site permit, First Avenue North, approved permit for residential deck ADA ramp addition. Motion by Dave Sarazin, seconded by Teresa Sari. The motion passed unanimously. Street renaming, adopt resolution renaming Hartman Drive to Taylor Lane in honor of Bob and Gladys Taylor. Motion by Roger Chandler, seconded by Teresa Sari. The motion passed unanimously. Town logo, adopt colored and black and white rearing stallion Logan with animation option as the town's logo, separate from the official town seal. Motion by Brian Eckenrod, seconded by Roger Chandler. The motion passed unanimously. Adjournment, motion to adjourn by Roger Chandler, seconded by Brian Eckenrod. The meeting adjourned at 8:50 p.m.
Thank you, Lou Anne. I have a comment and for curiosity. It says contribute approximately $700 to Holiday Park. I thought it was higher than that. Am I wrong in remembering that?
It was over 1,000 that we.
That we haven't checked in? So is that number incorrect?
Stacy, do you have that available?
I don't at the moment, but if it's incorrect, I couldn't hear it on the recording as to the exact amount. So I'll make sure that it gets fixed.
Thank you.
Council members, do you have any other edits or?
Let Stacy track that down. I wrote a different number down for the holiday park.
What did you write down?
$4,000 or something.
That was for the.
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Stacy.
I'll track that down while y'all are talking.
Oh, thanks, Stacy. Does anyone in the audience have any comments on the minutes? Okay, thank you very much. Next up, recognition. I would like to recognize Marcia. There's a typo there. Marcia Leffingwell for her exemplary efforts in mowing and cleaning up the Clyde Park Cemetery on September 22nd. She is actually the chair of the cemetery board. And then I did find out later there were other cemetery board members that were there on the initial, but she did the bulk of the work, and she's very shy and she would not want to take any recognition for that. So I did it anyway. All right, announcements. I'll be attending the annual League of Towns and Cities Conference in Billings, October 15th to 16th. That is put on by the Montana League of Towns and Cities and MMIA. Never remember that one. And so, the sessions I've signed up for, although there are so many good ones, I may jump back and forth, as you know, Teresa. I'm gonna attend the, association meeting of the Montana Trails Rec and Parks. I'm curious about that one. Short, session called Short-Term Rentals, Long-Term Benefit. I believe that's what that word is. I forgot to write it down. A session on tax increment financing. The MLTC board meeting. Hi, Rebecca, could you sign in over there, please? Montana League of Towns and Cities board meeting. Another session called Leveraging AARP's Community Engagement Opportunities. These are grant-based things that they will bring into or help the communities with. And Cracking the Code, Making Sense of City Finances. There have been several reports of bear sightings and a big bull elk in town within the last week. Please be cautious and aware. Avoid leaving garbage or food for pets and strays outdoors, and consider keeping bear spray handy. Additional materials from the recent event that was held here at the town hall are available. We are also working on one of the things they notified us of is they, like when the airport has those boxes of bear spray that people have had to dump out of their luggage, and they often give those away as donations. And so that might be an opportunity to have some free bear spray available here in the town hall. Mark your calendars. We are going to be doing a council candidate forum held on Tuesday, October 21st. The location and time are still to be determined, but this is going to be sponsored by the Park County MSU Extension Office. They will run that. I forgot to write it down on here, but I wanted to report that through the Paradise Valley Fire Department, they put us in contact with the state coordinator of basically AEDs and public safety and stuff like that. And they had gotten a hold of some used AEDs that were being decommissioned by the Helena Fire Department because they got all brand new ones. And so Paradise Valley helped us get 2 of those. They also made their supplier for the pads and the batteries made a really amazing deal and is letting us buy pads and batteries for $184 per unit. And that's all it's gonna cost, $184. I know at the last meeting, you all made, you approved purchasing, which were going to be another $4,000 or $5,000. These are portable. So we're going to have one in the town truck, and we'll probably carry it on the snow plow when we're out there plowing snow. I would like to get a proper mounted one still for here in the town hall. And then the other portable one, the Clyde Park Rural Fire Department has expressed an interest in having that in their EMS unit that we have here in town. So I'll put that on the next agenda as a motion to be made and so on.
But at that time, could we add a thank you card or something we could send them?
Yeah,
It was just a huge,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's big.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I,
I know that I'm out of order, but would you please clarify what the AED was?
oh, automatic, external defibrillator. So if somebody's having a heart attack, it hooks up and it monitors their heart and it can give the shock that's needed to maybe restart the heart. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for asking for clarification. I just wanna, I wanna make a comment. Recently, there, throughout the nation, there is an increasing amount of hostility and, even threats of violence, name calling, all of that toward public officials and employees who work for those municipalities. And it's really discouraging and disappointing for the people who put themselves voluntarily, in most cases, in that position. And I would ask everyone to please keep in mind how many people actually do this. How many people would take a position in a small town, be paid woefully, woefully underpaid, to do what is basically the equivalent with 2 1/3 employees of taking care of a community, say, just for the sake of example, a retirement community of 350 people, providing landscaping, security, administration, bookkeeping, event keeping, public relations, add it all in, and that's what town employees do. They try to do it all. And it is, I keep asking myself, why? Why do we put ourselves in this position? And I know from my own experience, why would I jeopardize? Because there is a passion to serve. And if I just want to make a plea for people to remember, this does not have, most people will not do this. And I honor those who step up to serve. And just want to say thank you. Okay, that's the last of the mayor's announcements. Department and committee reports. We'll begin with Public Works. Bo Danish, if you would please take it from there.
Couple continuations on from the last meeting. I will be getting with the Marshals to be getting the posts to put up the yield signs. I know Fourth. Basically, it's all the ones on the west. I haven't seen anything by my knowledge here on the east side. And the stop signs over by the storage units, for a lot of people that have issues with people just buzzing by. We're getting a quote from Jesse Novak at Great West on the root problem we have in the spring boxes. The idea is, once we can get somebody, all of the pipes that are in-fed are the 6-inch. And he's got a hold of somebody, he has to get a quote so we can know how much the price is to go forward with it. But the idea is, while we have it here, because I don't know when the last time it's been done, I've asked a couple of prior people in this position and higher positions. They, no idea, but due to the fact most of it is perforated piping that draws the water out of the ground, it's easy for the roots to invade into it. We want to get all of them done that we can. That way it persists, you know, from the future. We'll have it all done and out of the way. We did get a power bank. The mayor got some power banks. We got one that we're gonna put in at the res. I do have to do some modifications to the box. And the display in order to get it on there, because it is a lot larger. We have it just in case there's an emergency. It doesn't shut everything down, everything can still be monitored. Especially for like high snow and what have you, that I hear you guys get up here, and I guess I'll find it out here pretty soon. I was working with the playground. There's been a lot of opportunities there, due to just old age and use, and I know I myself have seen some adults enjoy some of the playground equipment, which obviously has a toll. So I was able to, thanks to other people, since I don't use it myself, they pointed it out and I was able to fix the baby swing. I do need to get one more piece, but it is fully functional, and I was able to, albeit to the dismay, jokingly, the rocking horse, which was in a very bad condition, I did have to move it away from the way it's been ever since time inception of Clyde Park. So now it faces to the north, so I chose that so that it keeps the sun out of the kids' faces. We do have handicap signs that are ordered, coming from when we were doing the striping, which has to answer your question before. I don't know if you were hearing it or not.
I missed that meeting.
It was more of a training exercise. We were trying to get more awareness, mainly on first. Because semis, country trucks, kids, they're just blaring on down there 50, 60 miles an hour, not caring. While a line on the street may not be much, sometimes it gives people a pause. With the excess that we had bought, it was an exercise to see if the back of the package would scream to me, not the case, but it did say on there that it works on gravel. And so as to prove ourselves wrong or they right, we decided to do the excess on there, from it. But due to me striping up at the front to give it more of a parking lot look, a little more professional, I believe Roger made mention we don't have a handicap sign, so I did order a couple of them. And if it is approved that we do the whole way to the business section here having parking, because I've seen some people that I guess if there's no lines, they believe they can take the whole side up. Like we have more.
That includes the decal that
Yeah.
we're required to put on the street and the blue paint.
Yeah, I know we got the extra signs that'll be here Friday, and I'm working on the decals so we can actually paint it on the spot. So it's within the codes of having it. I was able to get a hold of some skunk traps. And we've been having quite a bit of problem with skunks. I know it was originally here, but I've heard a lot of complaints that I guess it should be Skunk Park. Due to the odor that is consistently permeating in the air. I did get a hold of a couple skunk traps. I do have one set up on somebody's property here on the east side. I would look for somebody. I can use mine because I live on the west. Anybody that lives on the west that wouldn't mind having a skunk trap on their property for trapping, if you would volunteer, then I can put you on the list to try to get rid of all the Pepes in town. I need to order another light. We don't have any in stock for the flag light at the park. I was also trimming the alleyway. The only one we had needed opportunity was over here on the east side. I was able to take it all back to the power lines. And I feel that anything that is mixed in the power lines, it should be Park County Co-op. That should come out here to take care of that, because I don't want to make the town responsible if I take something a little too much off and we lose power. Or I don't want to make somebody out just for my own sake. So I think that I'll need to get a hold of them to have them come out and reassess.
Also took long
Clear.
enough to find you. We're not going to have you go down with them.
Right.
Bolt of
Exactly. We'll let them take care of it because the lines are there. But they're, I think that's all from there. Should I?
Well, would you wait on that? I was going to make a point of clarification about the painting. The striping part and the paint cost us $140. And the primary intent was, yes, to renew some of the stripes around town, but to assist the school in striping the 15-mile-per-hour zone, the entire zone. We've been, so we experimented with some lines. And Now we have been given some recommendation on a different type of paint that will be better. Will shine more, will so on and so forth. It's a little more expensive. But we also were trying to coordinate with the installation of the flashing signs that the school got. We're running out of weather window now, but at least those are the reasons that we worked toward that.
So they got some signs for Rock Creek.
They had, for both here at the high school and at the elementary school, they got a grant, from PCCF to purchase those signs at the cost of about $4,000 each.
Okay.
And, there's something with the poles. There was a holdup with getting poles for them. So they will be placed here just, kind of at the fence that, fences in the property of the Brown House. A little ahead of where the 15-mile-per-hour zone starts, and then at the top of the hill coming down from Rock Creek. We got permission from the county to put that there as to give my heads up beforehand. So, any questions, council members of?
They were working for the stencils, the stencils for those, because that is quite a undertaking for a lot of these companies. I think they're made of palladium or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did have a question. If the town has traps, can we borrow them from the town, or would you come and set them up?
I would set them up. And then, of course, I mean, many people, I think, are quite competent. And when
Yeah.
I did the skunk trap, I went and showed the person how to set it up and gave him the first round of bait for it, because he said his dogs have been sprayed 6 times already.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you both.
You want me to stand up over there?
Well, are you asking a question of
About the
both?
skunk.
Yeah.
Are you just letting them all go?
the skunks.
Yeah.
I did set them, I would prefer to take them somewhere where they can go. I was told that a bullet to the brain is one of the easiest ways, or some other ways necessary, but as we live in the middle of wildlife country, I assumed I would give it its own chance over in far enough away that it should not bother us again. But we can revisit that later if we cannot get a handle on the skunks.
For the record, that was Tracy Fremont, speaking. Anything else? Okay, next on the agenda, commission correspondence. This, is where the council may report comments, concerns, or suggestions they have received from community members.
We still have some
Oh, I'm sorry.
committee
did I miss
reports. Yeah.
something? Sorry.
I know you're just excited to
Thank
be
you.
done.
No, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Treasurer's report and claim warrants, Stacy?
I was hoping you'd skip over me. Here we go. All right, so the treasurer's report this time. My mouse isn't working. Utility billing for August was, or excuse me, September, I guess I didn't change it on there, was $17,152.86. Because Luann was out for a bit, we only had $6,060.79 recorded as of Monday. So I'm sure it's a lot more at this time. Our general checking balance, the last statement was $152,274, and the general checking total debits of $36,203.63, and a total credits of $37,605.96. Y'all have the claim warrants. And to answer the park question, you had $1,149 from Old Settlers, and you had $350 from Backroads in the month of August to the park. Also, the BMS pay, we had a workshop just the other day. We go live for residents in the community to be able to access their bills online and to be able to pay by text, pay by phone, pay by internet, their business license, animal license, everything, their bills, everything, in approximately November 4th. So in about 30 days, we'll go live on the website, and I will put continued updates on the website as soon as I get that together. That's it. Any questions on the claims?
Oh, I do have a question. They're not in front of me. I saw one more. Is that our final payment for the PER? I thought there was a payment of 5,000.
The final payment, it's entered into the second stage.
Okay,
Yeah. So the preliminary report, yes, that was our final payment on the preliminary.
okay, thank you.
Mhm. And all of that again is covered by a grant.
Yep, oh yeah, that's right.
Counselors, do you have any questions? Any others? Any audience members, do you have any questions to ask of our clerk treasurer? All right. Clerk treasurer. All right, thank you, Stacy. Planning, zoning and ordinances, excuse me, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, Parks and Rec. Nothing has happened there. Okay. I have been invited to put in an application to Crazy Mountain Ranch for their annual fall to get more money and or in-kind services to help us get that court put in on the.
Awesome.
So I just have to find the time and the mental capacity to write that application. James Walsh had already informed me that, the ordinances revisions are still being worked on.
Still plugging away.
Mhm. Teresa, planning, zoning, subdivision.
Okay, so. We did have a meeting with Stacy, Lance, Sydney, and Bo, and we discussed the procedures for the subdivision process. Stacy made a really nice checklist for Luann, so when people come in, we know where that community member is in the process of their application process, so we can track it. And if I'm right, the timelines were on there. All right, and our next planning board meeting will be October 21st at 7:30 PM, open to the public. We will be reviewing the Sunnyside Meadow subdivision. That's at those 5 homes over by the green boxes. This is the next step in the approval process for them to begin their building. The step after that is to present it at the November council meeting. We're actually 2 days past the approval process, but they agreed to the 2-day extensions for so at the next meeting, that needs to be on the agenda. Number 3, I forgot to put this on the report that you all received. I reached out to Randy Carpenter. He's a professional planner. He helps cities and writes grants, and he's just really good. I did reach out to him about researching how do you hire a subdivision administrator if you don't go through an engineering firm. We're going to talk on Friday. He just said, call him anytime. I don't know if you want to be involved in that phone call. I will be on the road again, so I'll try to do it before we leave. So I'll try to set it up for 8:30. Is that good for you?
I'll try and make it work.
Okay. All right. And that's my report at this time. Is there any questions on that?
Council members, any questions on the planning board report? Audience members, does anyone have any questions and comments?
I just have a question about the Parks and Rec. Can I ask that now or?
Yeah, actually, Can you stand? I'm sorry, Tracy.
Oh, no
I
worries,
forgot
no
about the
worries.
recording.
Yeah,
for the
no,
recording,
so
we
Kathy
have to
Romy,
close.
401 East
Thank you.
Avenue. So I'm just wondering, Mayor, with the Parks and Rec, like, we've got that bike thing going on from Bozeman through Brackett Creek and they stop at our park. Did they ask permission to stop at our park? Do they pay a fee for that at all?
They
Or,
gave a donation.
okay.
That was the one
Okay.
that Stacy
Oh,
mentioned.
okay. Just wondering, because there's such a hazard on Brackett Creek. Have you ever driven when they're all on the road? I don't know if we can change that at all, or,
That would be something for the county commissioners.
but would they be coming over this way if they had the park to use? That's what I'm getting at. It's like
Yeah,
if we
I
said
don't-
no to the park, would they find someplace else? I don't know if that's feasible, but I've heard a lot of comment about how hard it is when they're riding their bikes over Brackett Creek. They give no concern to the vehicles at all. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering if they have permission, if they paid or whatever. So anyway, that's all I wanted.
Yeah,
to-
well, and they bring business to the town as well, but I would say that regardless, knowing the group, regardless of whether they were in the park or not, because they do this on other public right ways, whatever, and they just stop the van in the middle.
Middle, yeah, and I've
Or
seen
not in the
that
middle of the
too.
road, but you know what
I
I
know,
mean,
they
pull
pull
off.
over, have
Yes,
water,
they do
whatever.
their
But
lunches.
Mayor, what kind of business do they bring to town? Because they seem to bring their own food and water and all of that. So really, what do you feel like they're bringing to the town as far as business goes?
They actually order custom items from the coffee shop.
Okay,
They come in.
for
with
their food when
coffee
they all
shop.
get
Yeah, they
there?
bring some of their own, but they also bring,
Okay,
and they come into the grocery store.
okay,
They get custom items from the grocery store as
Okay.
well, so it's all prearranged.
okay. Well, I was just curious because, yeah, I wasn't sure if they're just stopping at the park because it's public and they can do that or whatever. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, all right, cemetery board. Quickly, I'll read the minutes. The meeting was called to order at 9:01 a.m. at the Clyde Park Town Hall by President Marcia Leffingwell. Present were Bill and Lori Saracen, Don and Barb Elliott, Roy and Dolores Davis, and Mayor Wiley. Lori read the minutes from the August 18th meeting. Roy moved to approve. Motion carried. Luann reported that we took in $1,334. $405 in a memorial for Hank Leffingwell, $984 from Old Settlers, and $350 in other memorials for Hank Leffingwell. Old business, Marcia sent a proposal to the Clyde Park Town Council to approve the movement of funds in the amount of $6,000 to a short-term CD at the Bank of the Rockies. Mayor Wiley brought up the possibility of investing with the Montana State Investment Board for municipalities in Montana. The benefit being that the money is always available as opposed to being tied up to in a CD for the amount of time of the CD. Dolores reported that she will meet with Father Tony this month about money for the maintenance of the Catholic side of the cemetery. Fundraisers, Barb suggested to send letters to families who have members in the cemetery or just all in the community. Bill said he was informed to talk to Leslie Peterson to get the application for donations from Crazy Mountain Ranch. Bill reported that we received the bill from Northern Weed Management for the weed spraying in June. The total was $164.75. This will be given to the council to approve and have paid after the next council meeting. Plot prices, Roy moved to increase the plot size, the plot, oh, she put size, but I think she meant money to $150 per plot on the non-Catholic side. Don seconded the motion and the motion carried. This is because the Catholic side does not have a fee for the plots, per an arrangement that is historical, not even sure where that's recorded. Barb asked about the 501c3 status for applications. Lori will look into getting it set up. Barb has talked to new business Barb talked to the county commissioner, Brian Wells, about getting funding from the county. This will be a continuing project. She talked about having a sign on Highway 89 to direct people to the Clyde Park Cemetery. Barb talked about receiving funds from Give a Hoot. We will need a letter of intent and talked about the category it will fit into. Mayor Wiley has completed this for the town grant and helped with more information. Barb is going to pursue this. Mayor Wiley stated that the agenda for the meetings needs to be posted 48 hours prior to the meeting, and the minutes need to be posted after the meeting, a draft of the minutes. Marcia talked about mowing again this fall. It's decided clean, mow and trim on Monday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. It was delayed till 1 p.m. because of the rain. Everyone that has made contact to help will need to let them know. The next meeting will be Monday, October 6th at Town Hall. Bill moved to adjourn the meeting and Ron seconded it. Does anybody have any questions about cemetery board? Yes, step up, please. Thank you.
So it seems to me we're asking Crazy Mountain for a lot of money. They're the type that you scratch our back, they scratch ours. Are they gonna want something in return for donating money? That's something to think about when asking them for money, because they will want something in return.
Well, this is part of their regular grant process.
They're
that
still
they
gonna
do
want
for the
something in
town.
return.
Thank you for your comments. Oh, thank you, Luann, for reminding us. Council, we forgot to approve minutes and the claims. Okay,
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Thank you, Luann.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claim warrants for ending October 25.
I'll second the motion to approve the claim warrants.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, and the motion passes.
I just realized we needed to make a motion for the minutes be approved as changed or as
As amended.
amended.
As amended. Thank you. As it's being recorded. Solid Waste Board, Dave, do you have anything?
Yeah, we're just still moving forward with, trying to get compactors in, and using grant money through like the grizzly bear societies and things like that, and, it could solve a multitude of problems with our solid waste going forward, so I think we're definitely headed in the right direction.
Any questions?
I did hear something about from Max and the other guy here from the Veraware, that they were talking about putting in the mat as opposed to having the hot wires around, just putting in a mat around there, which I thought was a pretty good idea.
So electrified mat?
Yeah.
So when they step in, zap, and so it doesn't constrict our access, but
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, commission correspondence. Anybody have any commission correspondence? Dave, I believe, although it's administrative, but you were requested by a council member to present. No?
No.
Oh, okay. Luann, you were requested by that council member. Primarily an administrative request. This is more in terms of sharing with us things that have been shared with you by townspeople, but I'll allow it.
This is from council member Roger Chandler, council meeting 10/8/2025. Sorry I could not attend, but I had some things to discuss. One, right of way limbs have been trimmed back, but must have 14 feet 6-inch clearance. Still some left to do. Flag lights still out at park. Need handicap space at town hall, and no, there is no sign. Must be wheelchair accessible. Also should be handicap spots at other town businesses. Ice machine at Glenn's is still on sidewalk in violation of town code. Owner said it would be moved this summer, still hasn't happened. The candidate forum is great, should, be not only on the web, but posted at town hall, Glenn's, Bank, and Dale's. Also, reader board. Thanks, 6 employee, wages not on finance report. Thanks, Roger.
Council members, do you have any questions to ask? Anybody in the audience wish to ask any questions?
Rachel Benedict, 209 Park Avenue. The park, how often is the trash looked at? Because it gets full and it doesn't seem to be emptied for over a week. Also around the sidewalk, there's like a sweatshirt and stuff like that. There's, stuff in the lawn. So who's in charge of doing the park maintenance? And then for the trash bags or trash, if they're full, you track bears and skunks. So I'm just wondering, how often is that maintained? Because it seems like every week it's full. So
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for your comments. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Water rates. The proposed public hearings are dated basically for our next 2 meetings, Wednesday, November 2nd, and Wednesday, December 12th. Target implementation by January 1st, 2026. The legislature keeps moving the bar and moved it once again. And so we actually have to do the resolution tonight
For
the water rate
water.
change.
Can I make one comment?
And the resolution is the intent,
Okay,
right? It's not that we're actually saying this needs to be done, but it's the intent.
so I think that's a typo, because November 2nd is a Sunday,
Oh,
so
okay.
we're gonna meet the 12th, as
That is
usual.
a typo, yes.
Okay.
The 12th.
All right, so I don't have to put anything special in my phone.
Stacy, do you want to comment?
What did you say?
You're muted.
Now,
I was writing
Oh,
comment.
the water rates. Water
Oh.
rate changes.
Are we at that point where we're gonna do the intent for the resolution? I was
Yes.
writing down what Rachel was saying. Okay. Most of the information is going to be given at the hearing for the public, plus it's going to be posted in the newspaper, mailed to them, and on the website. Sorry. The things that are changing, do you want me to go through all of that, or
Yes,
is someone going to read the resolution? Do you want me to read the resolution?
yes, please.
yeah, the rest of you go in there.
Give me just a second, please. Are we ready? Resolution 481, a resolution of intent of the town of Clyde Park, Montana to modify. It's a resolution of intent to modify the monthly water rate structure by reducing the number of gallons included in the base rate for a 3/4 inch meter from 4,000 gallons to 3,000 gallons or 2,000 gallons, and for a 1.5 inch meter from 16,000 gallons to. The council needs to make a decision on that number.
Right now or at the next meeting?
Well, we need to have a resolution of intent done before we actually have a hearing. So if you want to keep that as the same, we had this discussion before and the information ready. Anyway, gallons to establish new overage rates of $5 or $7 per 1,000 gallons and to increase the monthly well lot fee from 1943 to. Both of those questions have not been answered since in this last month. In order to pay for the continued operation, repair, replacement, and maintenance of the water system. Whereas the town of Clyde Park, Montana, the town owns and operates a municipal water system, and whereas the town has historically paid for the operations, repair, maintenance, and replacement of the system through revenues collected from the monthly user charges, and whereas the current water rate structure provides a monthly base rate of $77.91 per 3/4 inch water line, which includes 4,000 gallons of water and charges $1.92 per 1,000 gallons for usage above the base amount. And whereas the town council finds that simply raising the base rate would not be the fairest approach to water billing, as it would increase cost equally for all customers regardless of usage. Instead, the council believes that changing the rate structure by reducing the number of gallons included in the base rate better promote fairness among users, encourages conservation, and provides sufficient revenues to meet the escalating cost of operating, maintaining, repairing, and replacing elements of the system. And whereas the town council therefore finds it necessary and proper to change the water rate structure by reducing the number of gallons included in the base rate from 4,000 gallons to either 3,000 gallons or 2,000 gallons, and to increase the overage rate for users above the base allocation to either $5 or $7 per 1,000 gallons, as may be determined by the council after public hearing. And whereas the town is required by section 69-7-111 MCA to provide notice of public hearing and to conduct such a hearing prior to the passage or enactment of a resolution or ordinance imposing, establishing, changing, or increasing the rates, fees, or charges for water services or facilities. Now therefore be it resolved by the town council of the town of Clyde Park as follows. Section 1. Reason for proposal change. It is the intent of the town to modify the rate structure for the water users as set forth herein. The purpose of the proposed change is to ensure fairness among users, encourage water conservation, and provide sufficient revenues to pay for the operation, maintenance, repair, and replacement of the system. Section 2, existing monthly rate charge. The existing base rate for a 3/4 inch meter is $77.91, which includes 4,000 gallons with an overage charge of $1.92 per 1,000 gallons. The existing base rate for 1.5 inch meter line is a multiple of the 3/4 inch rate and currently includes 16,000 gallons. The existing well lot fee is $19.43 per month. Section 3, proposed new rates. The proposed changes retained at the base rate of $77.91 for a 3/4 inch meter, but reduce the gallons included in the base rate to either 3,000 gallons or 2,000 gallons. For a 1.5 inch meter, the included gallons will be reduced from 16,000 gallons to blank to be determined by the council. Usage above the base allocation for either meter size will be charged at either $5 or $7 per 1,000 gallons as determined by the council after public comment and deliberation. The well lot fee will also be increased from $19.43 per month to be determined by the council. Section 4, further rate increases. Future adjustments to the water rates will be made by resolution of the council duly adopted after public hearing with notice thereof given as required by law. Section 5, public hearing. A public hearing on the proposed change in the water rate structure will be held on the 12th day of November 2025, commencing at 7 p.m. at the Clyde Park Town Hall at 516 Miles Street, Clyde Park, Montana. Section 7. Oh, that's supposed to be section 6.
And I think
Notice.
What date did you give for the December meeting?
The 12th.
Because that's actually the November date. The November 12th is one date and December is the 10th.
Right, but this is
Okay.
the intent, and the December meeting will be given at the November meeting.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Notice the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to mail or cause to be mailed a copy of this notice to all customers of the system at least 7 days and not more than 30 days prior to the public hearing, and to post the notice at the public places designated by the town's municipal codes.
Okay, council, we have to make the decisions on those blanks.
Okay,
Thank you, Stacy, for reading.
Well,
What's the first blank?
The first blank is,
I guess I should pull it up. I'm sorry.
reducing the 1.5 inch meter.
from 16,000 gallons to X amount. You all have the,
I do.
chart that she did.
Yes.
Stacy, what is the recommendation? Do you have a recommendation?
I personally, my recommendation would be probably to leave the 1.5 inches at 16,000 gallons if we're simply increasing the 1,000 gallons per overage on the 16,000.
How many 16,000 lines gallon lines do we have?
I
One
am,
inch meter.
you would have, if you scroll down the page
Ah,
that I can't
they're mostly.
show it to you because it has personal information that we're not at liberty to share over the internet.
Okay,
But yeah, it's our commercial service.
okay.
So this is just intent. I would suggest if we're gonna reduce the 3/4 inch lines by 25%, right, from 4,000 to 3,000. What would be a 25% reduction on the 16,000 gallons? That's probably gonna be too much.
It'd be a 4,000 gallon.
12,000 gallons.
So is that too much? Are those 16,000 gallon services using 16,000 gallons a month
Let me see.
generally?
We have, okay, if you scroll down on the usage summary that was put into your information, I'm going to scroll down. We have 2 or 3 1.5 inch lines in town. One of them does not usually meet the 16,000 gallon mark, and the other one consistently goes quite a bit over the 16,000 gallon mark.
Okay. Well, we need to make a call here. Again, just intent, right? This isn't,
Gonna go to a public hearing anyway.
Right, this is the
We can just
intent.
leave it the same and then, get the money in the overage.
I would suggest reducing it by 20%.
So 13,000
From 16,
Yeah,
to about 13. 20%.
and it keeps it fair.
16,800. No, I meant 13,800.
so 16,000 down to, whatever 20% of
13.8.
13,800.
So they will be paying
And then we have to decide how much.
4,000 gallon rate for everything over and above the 13,000.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, this is just a suggestion.
Okay, so then what's the next question?
I mean, I would like the community, hopefully when public notice goes out, to come and say, well, 13,800's not enough, or, I need some input on.
Yeah.
And I need to look closer at the usage, which we all don't have time for me to scroll through that right now,
Yeah,
so.
so long.
I'm just trying to move forward here, and then I would also suggest, instead of 2,000, just going to 3,000 for now. For today's purpose, so the 25% reduction in the 4,000 to 3,000.
That does not need to be decided today. This is simply the resolution of intent.
Okay. Oh, and you need the well lot determination?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Oh. Does anyone else have any input on that?
That money goes to the fire fund, right, Stacy?
No,
No?
no. The $19.43 a month that's paid on lots and sites,
Well,
wells, thank you, goes towards the town's cost of maintaining the water that would put out a fire on their property.
Oh,
It goes towards their portion of cost towards the maintenance of the water system that provides the water for fire.
Okay.
That's what it says in our codes.
okay,
okay,
thank you.
all right. It's just how they wrote it up back in the day.
If you stuck to the 25%, that would be $4.85 increase.
Yeah. 20% would be $3.89. Does
Make
anyone
it
else have anything?
$23, just make it 23 even.
Sounds good to me. Fill in that blank.
Okay.
And those were the only blank spots?
I think so.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. And are you gonna make this chart available to the community as well?
Yes, ma'am. When the flyer goes out, the charts are going to be on there, the explanations, everything will be detailed out for each household, as well as posted on the website and posted in the public places.
Thank you.
And since the next meeting isn't until Wednesday, November 12th, the new system, the VMS system, again, will be available on November 3rd. Did I write that down correctly?
November 4th is our last go launch meeting, so
Okay.
we're shooting for that date.
Okay. The reason I ask is because if people wanted to go on there and look at their actual usage to determine whether or not 3,000, 4,000, 2,000 is appropriate, that would be a good place to go.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, and since the final resolution won't be approved until December, they'll have plenty of time to see what their monthly usage is.
Okay.
There will be 2 public hearings, one in November and one in December.
Thanks for putting all this together, Stacy.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, well, we need to motion and approve this.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution for intent of,
Brian, can I just interrupt you for 1 minute? We do have a question.
oh, I'm sorry, Becca.
I'm understanding something. So everybody who has a well, even though they pay for city water, you want to charge them because they have a well also. Is that correct?
No.
No, that's why I'm asking, because I'm trying to understand. What's the well thing?
There are people in town who are grandfathered in on wells.
It had to do with the whole
Instead of city
agreement from
water.
way back in the day.
Okay,
So they're on a well, and until that property, please chime in, until that property changes ownership, they are grandfathered in on that well service. However, once it changes, if and when it changes ownership, the new owner is required to connect to city water.
okay.
Correct.
So like me and neighbor has a well and we water in their yard and our yard with it, they're not gonna get charged the $19, even though they're
Oh,
hooked up to
if they're on
city
city
water.
water, no.
Okay, that's where I was just wanting to make sure I
It's,
understood
yeah,
that.
agricultural.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add one other thing? The well, and I might be mistaken on this, but the well fee is also on lots that are uninhabited? Is that, or unoccupied
It's
and
any-
that account? So
It's any piece of property in town that's not using the water system.
Thank you, I just wanted to.
And that's simply for if there was ever any fire situation on that piece of property, the well fee helps. Put money away for that.
Make sure that we can still
Cool.
water the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Motion.
I really like how this is, I'm liking how this is put together, so I'm interested to hear what everybody's input is gonna be. I make a motion to,
Approved resolution.
approve resolution of intent. To modify the monthly water rate structure by reducing the number of gallons included in the base rate.
That's okay, Brian, that's all
Okay.
I need, just resolution number 481.
Resolution 481.
Motion made,
I'll second it.
been made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'm gonna pass this around for your signature.
May I ask permission to use the restroom real quick?
Yeah,
During the
let's just
meeting?
take like a 2-minute stand-up stretch. I'll start passing this around.
So I know where it's at.
Thank you.
If there's, some of the names are on that page. See, I didn't pass those.
Oh, that goes. with
Brian,
that.
your name's on the.
That goes with this.
Round.
We're almost there.
There.
Almost there.
Yeah. Good.
They'd have fun with that.
It is.
Was I the last one?
There's 2 pages. we have.
Okay, just Roger. Okay. I was the last one in line.
Yeah, okay. And I need to see that. I think I have to sign that. All right, let's resume the meeting. Oh, is there?
Yeah, Kathy Romy. Yes. I said 13.8 is actually 12.8.
That's
For
the
the-
second meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I messed up the number though. It's 12.8.
Oh, for the 16th.
Yeah, I messed up my math.
Just had fill in the blank.
Yeah.
All right, everybody ready? All right, next on the agenda is new business. First one, we have a request by community member Kathy Romy to discuss the feral cat issue with regard to MCA code 45-6-30 theft. With a potential action, suggest a change to town ordinance pertaining to residents' pets. You have the council action form in front of you. This will take just a minute.
Don't get excited, yeah.
The action is to present to the town council to discuss the feral cat action. The proposal objective is to determine what brought about this action and can it be rectified. The Montana Code annotated 45-6-301. Do any of you, I didn't pull that up, I apologize. Do you have that ready? I think it's in your information here too. Let's see.
I can look it up.
Yeah, Teresa's looking it up.
So do you want me to read the whole thing? Do we know which portion?
Read what seems to be the relevant portions of it.
So
Thank you.
theft, the person commits the offense of theft when the person purposely or knowingly obtains or exerts unauthorized control over the property of the owner and has the purpose of depriving the owner of property.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Sorry, purposely or
Audience.
purposely or knowingly uses, conceals, or abandons the property in a manner that deprives the owner of property, or uses, conceals, or abandons the property knowing that the use, concealment, or abandonment will deprive the owner of the property. A person commits the offense of theft when the person purposely or knowingly obtains by threat or deception control over property of the owner and has the purpose of depriving the owner of the property purposely or knowingly. Is more repeating. A person commits the offense of theft when the person purposely or knowingly obtains control over stolen property, knowing the property to have been stolen by another. A person commits the offense of theft when the person purposely or knowingly obtains or exerts unauthorized control over any part of any public assistance. Okay, that doesn't pertain here. Sorry about this. I didn't read this beforehand. Title 39, 51, and 71 don't pertain. Okay, I think that, and then there's fines listed and what should be done at that time. Kathy, is that enough of a paraphrasing?
Yeah, the
Sorry,
other,
I addressed her. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have addressed you. I
No,
was
it's
gonna
okay.
address her.
Just a second.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more here.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
That
gets
was
the
enough,
essence
Susan.
of it
Thank
there.
you.
Yes,
Sorry.
thank you.
You're
Yeah.
getting used to this.
All right, so the summary of the background on the item, the trapping of feral cats is turned into the disposing of family pets. So that is the action form. So council members, having that, in front of you. With reasons of clarification, council members may direct questions to the mayor, who may then request assistance from employees in responding.
So questions for Kathy?
Questions for me?
For you to give Kathy?
Yeah, questions for me about the issue that may then I'm directed to the employees to answer. Then we get to the proposal by the applicant, proponent. You have in your packets,
What we
the
read,
staff
yes.
reports.
Yeah.
Anything you want to ask? Okay, all right. So then, yes, now we will move on to, comments from the applicant, proponent.
Okay, thank you.
Now you're on, Kathy.
okay, Kathy Romy again, 401 East Avenue. I might add to that code that since pets are legally considered personal property in Montana, is why I'm bringing it up. Just a quick comment on the feral cat thing. So you set out a trap on September 10th, correct?
caught a cat on the 11th. You did not post that you were gonna trap feral cats. It wasn't quoted in there as, what's the term I'm looking for when, pets running amok?
Stray animals.
No, stray, what's your other?
Was it not?
Nuisance?
No.
No, there's a word.
Yes, I'm a blank now. You know,
Not
at
a-
large,
Yeah.
that's, okay, so just feral cats. So anyway, it was over 2 weeks later that was posted on the Clyde Park page that you would be trapping feral cats. Now, I'm just gonna say, property would not have been lost had you posted when you set out the first trap. Okay, so I just want to make that comment clear as well. Also, if I may, Mayor, ask a question. Did you have just one complaint on feral cats or more than one?
We were responding to a nuisance call.
Okay, and you determined it was a feral cat or?
It was feral cats or cats. The nuisance was cats.
Okay. My other question is too, maybe, and I don't know if this would fall under ordinance or something else, but maybe instead of reacting right away and putting a trap out, responding and interviewing the residents, it's like cats are opportunists. Does this resident have other pets outdoors? You know, they go where they're gonna find opportunity, and it seems to me you caught 3 cats and a skunk there, right? So there must be something going on around that residence, whether it be mice, gophers, cat food, dog food, whatever. I'm just saying maybe those issues should be addressed first before putting out traps, is what I wanna say. And as far as the ordinance goes, seems like all of the pets are jumbled together, correct? We've had an at-large dog problem for quite some time, and of course cats, which I love to be at large because it keeps our mice population down, our gopher population down, all the rodents. So, you know, I've never had a problem with feral cats. I mean, I have it at my house, but I changed what I was doing outside and they quit coming, is why I asked about the resident. So, the point being is, it doesn't seem to me, now I could be wrong, that the ordinance about pets have really been enforced until we got all this feedback on the feral cats. Because we have plenty of dogs running around. We had Dang It running around for how many years, tearing into garbage or whatever, and I know there was complaints made on that as well. And he was still always at large. We see people all the time walking their dogs off leash, and maybe they have great recall, I don't know. I quit being able to walk my dogs because they are dog reactive. Even though they're under my control, it doesn't stop another dog from beginning a fight. So I would just like to see the ordinance either changed, followed. It's like, do we break it up for cats and treat the ordinance different for cats? Or do we do that different for dogs as well? And what does all of that fall under? I just feel like had the town posted about trapping cats, again, property wouldn't have been lost, is my biggest concern, because that can't be recovered now. So, yeah, so it'd just be nice to know ahead of time, anything that's going on like that might affect the residents. And again, anybody who does make a complaint, it would be nice to have an interview with them, Mayor, to just determine if it's the residence itself. Skunks are notorious too. They're gonna go where they smell food or think there's an opportunity as far as food goes. So yeah, it's like instead of just setting out a trap right away, moving forward with some more information maybe, so. But yeah, I'd really like, it's interesting, the ordinance covers birds, lizards and fish. You know, I feel like if I wanted my fish to go swim in my neighbor's mud puddle, that wouldn't be allowed, but you know, it's like, I don't know, some of it, I'm sure. I know, I'm sure. Okay, so anyway, I would just like the ordinance looked at again and maybe revised somewhat to fit in these times right now. So I guess that's all I have to say. So,
Thank you for your.
thank you.
Thank you.
Council members, do you wish to ask any questions or clarification to the proponent applicant?
To Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No? All right. Members of the audience are invited to present testimony or evidence, beginning with those in favor. of
You
the
have a
proposal.
hand raised online?
How long is it? Is it before?
You asked if anybody, if the audience, you have a hand raised online?
Okay. Go ahead.
So you only want the positive for what right now?
We'll just take any comments.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know the situation of the person that made the phone call to you, but I know I haven't made the phone call, but I know it's new for us to have somebody that does this, right? So that's one thing. But I do have a cat problem, and we don't have anything unusual in our property, but the cats come use the dirt and like the mulch under the trees as a litter box. They kill birds in our yard. So I don't think it's necessarily something that is the property owner's problem why they have cats there. Maybe it is, but I don't think it, if it is, I'd like to know what it is so we can stop them from coming in our yard. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you for your comments. Tracy?
I guess it's my turn now.
It's your turn.
Dang. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I didn't have to deal with this. I
Name,
wish it would.
address.
My name's Tracy Fremont, 312 Park Avenue.
Thank you.
I've lived here 30-some years, but I guess my voice is getting smaller, according to the mayor. Because why? I don't know. I'm not sure why my voice is small. I love this community. I raised 5 kids here. I've had many cats, many cats. This is my first time I've ever had a cat that I had to love and care for. And that cat was taken from me. It was baited, trapped, and taken. And 2 weeks later, I thought it just got run over. A coyote got it. Something natural. Never would have I imagined that my town would have trapped it and taken it out of town, that I would even have to call the Humane Society. I understand people not liking cats coming in and going to the bathroom in their flower beds and all that. I didn't like that to happen. I don't even like it when my own cats do. I have a litter box for it. They can go in anytime. So I understand that. And I have no problem with your registration at all. But I didn't get a chance to do it. It was taken. You guys were doing your job. I have nothing against what happened. You enacted this action that didn't give us a chance to react and follow this good idea that you had. It's not a bad idea. Sydney, you come up with lots of good ideas.
Please.
Mayor Sydney.
Thank you.
Yeah. But this is Clyde Park, and all of us that have moved here, I moved here a long time ago. I moved here and I like it. We don't have to change everything. But you seem to think we do. You seem to think we need all kinds of laws and regulations to do everything. Give us a chance. Give us a chance just to stay the way we are. Otherwise, go find someplace else to live. if you don't like Clyde Park the way it is.
The, if the comments could be kept to
To the
the
cat,
issue at hand.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay, and then that fourth item, trap, a skunk. Why couldn't you let my cat go? The cat, I know you knew it was a pet, it would have came right home. Day 4 is when I started to worry about it because it's been gone for 3 days lots of times. But day 4, I thought, oh no, something happened to it. But like I said, I didn't even consider that someone took it from me. They, you know. So by that time, it was already adopted out. I went to the sheriff because I was told it was considered theft. Mayor Sydney, I have to commend you for coming up with that ordinance. Because you didn't have it when I approached you before. And, you know, you're good at what you do. You really are good at what you do. And I appreciate that time and effort you put into those things. But yes, this hurt personally, and it is a bummer for me. You know, I can't get that cat back. And you're responsible for that. You know, I figure I would be considered a pretty law-abiding person. I didn't have the slightest idea that you can't let your cat outside. You know, if this is a new law, I'll abide by it. I have another cat, but it's not Gretchen, the first one, the one that, you know, actually liked me a lot and stuff. So anyway, yes, I'm upset about it. And yeah, I know the time's up, Mayor Sydney.
Thank you for your comments. Council members, you have questions you would like to ask?
Can I say something?
Well, yes, we'll allow comments in a minute. Questions for the,
No, glad to take a look at the ordinance if there's something we can do as a council.
I would like to remind everybody, it's up on the board there. I do not make the laws. It's the council members who make the laws. There's no new ordinance. These ordinances have been in place for a very long time. They're not perfect. They've been needing to be updated, codified for a very, very long time. Enforcement of the ordinances is the job of the town. That is our duty by law to enforce the ordinances. I know that everyone is unaccustomed to the ordinances being enforced. That is not, this is now, that was then. And and former actions are done by other administrations. We are trying, we are doing our best, but that is the job. Counselor.
He is needing a committee to to go through our codes. Community members could be on the committee to help look at these codes.
Yeah.
So reach out to James, if you're okay with that, James. I would suggest people reach out to James and help him out with this project to make the codes the way the city wants them.
Okay, let's stay focused on the issue on hand. Thank you, though. Any questions to direct to the speaker? Any other audience members wish to speak? Thank you, Simone. Step up to the end of the table, say your name and your address, please.
Simone Hanson, 203 Park Avenue. And how this started was me,
Direct the.
and I'm
comments
very
to the
sorry
mayor.
about your cat. But what happened is I called up Bo, I came over and talked to Bo.
Simone, direct your
Oh,
comments.
I'm
to me.
sorry.
Thank you.
I am sorry though. Anyway, I come here, talk to Bo, because this cat, I've been putting up with it since this spring, or, you know, really early on. And it has been crapping on my deck. It's been spraying on my deck chairs. barbecue pits,
Please keep the comments
house.
down,
What's that?
audience.
And I had enough. When it crapped on the deck, that was enough. So I came here, told Bull about it. I said, something's gotta be done. I want this stopped. Well, he put out a trap trying to stop it. And that's how he caught the cats. But I get a lot of cats that go through through my yard, a lot. And I never see them because they come in at night. So that is where it started, is me. But I can't deal with this spraying all over the house and on my deck. This has gotta quit. So how do you stop it? You know, with all the cats that are running around in the yard. And we don't have a dog. We had, the last dog we had was 2017. And we don't have any cats. It's not that I don't like cats. I've had many cats. But when I had cats, I take them. So I wouldn't have that problem, or it wouldn't be a problem for anyone else. And I know it's spendy, but you can go to a free clinic and get these cats or dogs fixed. Because I did.
No comments from the audience, thank you.
So, and we've been at that house at 203 Park Avenue for 31 years, and I've never had this problem. But all of a sudden, all these cats are showing up, and I don't keep garbage around or anything of the sort. So it is clean, and whoever knows where I live, they do know that. So what can you do about it? I can't handle the spraying all over my place. I can't, and I won't.
Thank you, Simone. Remain there for a minute. Council members, do you have questions for Ms. Hanson?
I do not.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the audience wish to speak?
Can I make another comment?
Step up to the microphone, please.
So Kathy Romney, 401 East Avenue.
Thank
Simone,
you.
Thank you for coming forward. I so
did
appreciate
because
that.
it was getting out of hand.
Right,
You know.
so Mayor, sometimes when male cats spray like that, it just takes once. The other cats are gonna come and keep doing it too. So I don't know if it would help Simone if there was, I know they have products out there that kill the smell completely. And maybe if that was used on her porch too, that would avoid cats coming and doing that. I understand that is a very pungent smell. So I get that, but again, I just thank her for coming forward too. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did ya?
Yes.
Anyone
I
else
did.
wish to speak?
Couldn't sit on your deck without that smell.
Rachel Benninger, 209 Park Avenue. I just think that the town could have done a better job if you're wanting to implement and really enforcing these ordinances, to start using Facebook. Everyone uses Facebook. If there's issues with cats or dogs, everyone's posting on the Shields Valley Community Board. I think it would be better if you guys start using it more as a thing to help say, hey, we're going to start, we have complaints about cats, feral cats, here's pictures, here's whatnot. But I think you need to use more of what you have as your tool of Facebook. Because here in our area, I know when somebody's like finds a dog, they post it and we find the owner immediately. So I think that could be better used.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions?
I do have a comment, if you don't mind. I have avoided commenting on Facebook because it is a public forum, and when I'm in the presence of 3 or more of us, we're in quorum, which is an official meeting. So I'm just gonna comment that I will never comment on a public issue on Facebook for that purpose. So I would turn that over to you guys to, it's not my job to turn it over to you, but we cannot comment on the public forum.
Of course not.
Thank you.
So,
But the town can certainly use it.
but the town could
The town
use
can
it
use
and
it.
needs to use it,
At
yeah.
the conference, I will be exploring that issue more, but the recommendation when we first started was for municipalities, there's a lot of caution about having a Facebook page. A website, yes. Facebook, social media, much caution because there is a lot of liability.
Mhm.
So we will be exploring and presenting a new communication plan. I want to keep the issue focused. It's getting late. I know we have some bus drivers that need to get up early. Was there someone else who wanted to make some comments?
No, oh, sorry. Quick question, you said you gotta follow the rules. It says in here that you have to fill out a complaint form. She just called, so that's not following the rules. So if we're gonna bring up rule following, and here it is, we have to follow them. It says here you have to have a couple more complaints and you have to fill out this form. There's no forms filled out. So the action shouldn't have been taken until the rules were followed set by the city. Am I correct? So we're all talking about rules here, but the city's not following its own rules. So when we bring up rules, you guys might want to think about that.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions, council? Okay, Sean?
Sean Jones, 414 First Street East. Probably don't want my opinion and probably not the time for it. However, I am so disturbed at this meeting. You're right. I haven't been to a lot of them. Not at the board at all, but that's about one of the most beautiful women. I've been here for 54 years. And I don't know of a more fair person, a more unbelievably wonderful, beautiful woman. And I want to say to you, I don't want to walk out and say this to someone else. I want to be transparent. But I hope the board will get a handle on this stuff, this Mayor Sidney. I can't call Teresa. She can't do. This is ridiculous. This is Clyde Park. We've been calling each other first names forever. If this is what our town is coming to, and it's not the board, Sydney, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can cancel me. You can cancel me. I'll finish. But Sydney, I'm telling you, I get you're an elected official. This is disturbing.
But
This is horrible. What you did to that woman right there is horrible.
you have not heard the
Thank you.
rebuttal yet? You've not heard
It's
the
horrible.
rebuttal?
It's horrible.
You haven't heard it? Okay.
And I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Are you ready?
And that wasn't directed at you, Gordon, at her.
Who else would like to make comments?
Can I comment?
Yeah.
Tracy, I'm sorry, and I do agree with Sean ever since I've known you, you've been awesome, but you guys, we make mistakes and we're people and we get emotions and yeah, maybe we don't follow every single rule and we ask you to follow the rules and it's a lot to keep track of. You know, people want stop signs. We put stop signs up. The town hall's packed. I mean, again, I'm getting off track. I'm not trying to, but to the cat thing, you know, this is my second term. Okay. So I haven't been here a long time. I bet I was here for another mayor. When I got here, you know, it was a lot of things were really in disarray. We were calling everybody by first names. We weren't really addressing a lot of the issues that we probably should have addressed, but yeah, things rolled along. I'm so sorry that it had to come to this. But I do have to say, had that cat, I'm trying to word this in the most sensitive way. Unfortunately, it sometimes takes an action to cause action, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And like, had nothing happened, would this continue to be a problem? And so I guess my point is that we do the best we can, we make mistakes, but it's not, when I read the report, the nuisance report, the first thing I told Bo when I came in was, you know, if my cat, I don't have a cat, but if I had a cat and it had gotten away, I would want you to catch it because he's humane and he is sensitive and, you know, that cat could have gotten shot, that cat could have gotten killed and or hit by a car or anything else. And so, yeah, maybe not every perfect decision was made, but there was care taken and it was not, and I think I can say that it was not in any way done in a malicious way. It was trying to address the issue at hand, and you know, mistakes are made sometimes. So I'm sorry. I truly am sorry with all my heart, but we got to bear together and just realize that we're people too and make decisions based on emotions and things slip through the cracks sometimes. And I'm sorry that had to slip through the cracks.
I need to address another, because Tracy Fremont, 312 Park Avenue. I have no ill will towards the fact that my cat was picked up. It was that I was not pre-warned and that I had no opportunity to get that cat because it was 2 weeks later that we were notified. So yes, someone made a mistake. It was not you two. And I'm sorry, Sydney, Mayor Sydney. That's the problem I have. I don't want this town to go down that road either. Like I said, I love this town, and I think there's many, many things you do such a great job at as a mayor. But we need to do things in the right order. This didn't have to happen. I'm thankful my cat's still alive. It's in someone else's home, probably being taken cared up for. I appreciate that, knowing that, because I thought it had gotten killed. I thought a coyote had gotten it. So that was a relief that it wasn't dead. You know, and I know it was a mistake that was just made. And I would have followed the ordinance. I was afraid to let my other cat out. And I feel really bad, Simone, that I didn't know my cat was spayed. It was taken care of. And I'm sorry that if it was one, I doubt the little female sprayed, but I know females can spray. You know, it was a mistake that was made, and I'm sorry that it was made, and I'm sorry that I felt real sorry for myself and really angry for, several weeks. And I never went on Facebook, and people showed me stuff, and I appreciated the support. And I just, I hope we can rectify those nuisances, but I paid the ultimate price on this one. And, I just hope it doesn't happen again. Where it not just about cats at all, about anything in our town, that we don't react before we check the facts and think things through, And it is a thankless job, Sydney. I know that, and I don't want you to give up on it. But I have to respond, and I appreciate your apology. And yours too, Simone. I really do.
Any other comments from the audience?
Nancy Manhattan, and I live at 105 Innsmore Avenue. And I want to know, what do you do when you catch a cat? How do you catch the cat? How do you let the owner know? How do you know who the owner is? And what constitutes the cat being in the wrong place? So I want to know those things. I have a cat that's she was a stray that came to us, and she still thinks she's a stray 90% of the time. So she's going to be out in the yard. She's going to be in the neighbor's yard, but she always comes home and she.
But you take care of rodents.
Yes, and we don't have mice, and we don't have voles, and we don't have a lot of things we would have had. We don't have much for birds either, but
Good.
anyway, for my respect, what are you how are you going to let us know that our cat has been trapped? Cause this is terrifying, 2 weeks, not knowing where your pet is. Not good.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions? The speaker?
What's the answer?
Yeah, what's the notification process? Can we lay that out?
This will be dealt with in the rebuttal. I'm just giving everyone a chance to speak. Anything else? I would like to invite Danish, our town CSO, to respond to the concerns that have been raised.
First of all, I do sympathize. Believe it or not, I do hold firm that everything that had happened is by everything that I know, everything that I've read in our codes, and executed, trying to be as fair as possible to everybody. I'm gonna start by reading the nuisance report. I did provide a couple copies, didn't have a whole lot. So I had it all anonymous, because I didn't want it, just in case there was any chance, and I've seen a lot of people, I know people get heated, especially when it comes to pets. And then there has always been a dividing factor. I actually was a Zoom ranger for a while. I've worked for the wildlife rehabilitator, and I've actually helped out at shelters before too, so I kind of come from a mixed background of things. I know people are very, very polarizing when it comes to certain species. They believe this is better than this. I'm attached to this. This is what I've had. People view things differently. So just as to start off, I was notified. Simone did come to me. I went over to a property and I inspected, and I had took into account everything she was having problems with. I am very familiar with cats, as anybody with a heartbeat, pretty familiar with cats. And I also know both sides of the spectrum as to the benefits.
Glenn, no comments in the audience, please. Thank you.
As was mentioned, you know, that people use them as mousers, people use them as a way of getting rid of snakes, spiders, anything that's their hunting instinct, and that's what they rely on a lot of. That's why we have barn cats, as people like to say. Some people like to try and say barn cats are a completely different species. But that's like saying a guy that works on the railroad, he isn't a human being, he's a railroad worker, because that's what he specializes in. It's a job, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Get off track. So when Simone came to me, and she detailed the problem she was having, I inspected her property. She has a lot of gardening going on, as most people do. That's what they like to do. I do know that there's a lot of things that come from cats, and I will go in that further on. If later, I got a whole stack here I'm going through, and this is mostly educational, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm trying to educate people, because that's a lot of what this comes from. With the spray, yes, both sexes can spray. Males generally are the culprit. It's a scenting thing. The spray will bring every cat from who knows how long. Defecation, that seems very weird. That to me could be that there's an illness with the cat and had its sense of urgency, or it was angry. And now the cat will yowl.
Probably getting mad at me.
Either way, nuisance activity. And I will go through all the procedures so everybody knows in detail. That is directly a nuisance. So spraying, okay, spraying and defecating, that becomes a health hazard. Cats, again, have many diseases they can carry, and their feces is different than most other things. It's not exactly like ours, it's not like a dog's. They carry different enzymes that are very detrimental to health. And again, I'll go over that later. So based upon what I inspected, I decided the best thing I can do, because since I moved here, mind you, I'm a newbie. I've only been here 4 months now. I believe 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And I have seen on my side, there's cats galore. Not everybody's problem, but it is our problem as a community. So I decided to enact putting down the trap to catch the nuisance that was plaguing her property. The first time was the next day. I got a call back from I had told her that we are looking to trap skunks too, and skunks are also caught by the exact same bait as just about everything under the sun. Cat food. I don't know why, possums, raccoons, everything is caught with cat food. So I told her if she sees something to let me know and I will check, but don't approach it. Because I don't want her to get sprayed if it is a skunk. Not all skunks are clearly black and white, there are some variances. So she called me on the 11th. And there was one unidentified wood forest tabby. There was no color. I get people it's not a popular thing to put colors on tabs. They make breakaway colors, could have broken away. I get that. I can't read the chip. With no identification markers on it, it just looked like a cat. Now, you have to understand, I know, behavior wise, a cat is gonna be scared. We getting it? They all act feral when you pick them up, scratching around, yelling and going back and forth. It takes a while to calm them down. The cat did calm down, but I have no way of identifying. If there is nothing on our records that I could find for people to register, give me pictures of our animals we have, it's the same with our dogs. There's a huge problem. I think that everybody can agree with. There's been plenty of spreadsheets, but only a quarter of the animals on there are correct. Nobody wants to come in to give us the ability for identification. That makes my job impossible. So I have to make the best decision I can. I now have an animal here. I have no way of caring for it. We have no facilities. I can leave it in a cage outside. That's not me. I'm not gonna leave a cage animal outside in the sun and the weather, kids to come by. So the only thing I can do is hold it for a certain amount of time. And in this certain case, I was with assistance that I did have the deputy clerk come and try to call around a triangulated area from the part we were at. She called about 4 or 5 people, probably more than that. Anybody that came in to do bill for the couple hours that I had it here, she would ask, do you know of anybody missing a cat? Nothing. Nothing we have. So after the couple of hours, and I'll go over the whole procedure here, which will answer your question. I took it over to the county shelter, the animal shelter, staff. So same thing on the next day. Second tracking session, I had got an unidentifiable yellow and white cat. That one, as I was trying to put it into the cat carrier, got out on me because I didn't have the appropriate trap to move it over. We had a load. The next and third one I caught was a long-haired tabby cat that did actually have a color. And it was on me that I didn't get a chance to look at it because I kept it in the trap, because after the other one escaped on me, it was kind of a moot point. So I took it to the shelter, we found the collar, I was able to hit the number that was on there, gave the person a call. It went 4 or 5 times and it said this person's not available, or this number's not available, and I know that here in Clyde Park, we have phone problems. So I kept trying, and so did the staff there. We finally got a hold of them, and she decided she was gonna come pick it up after I offered to bring it back or try to get it back. After not hearing from her for about an hour. And then the last one was a skunk, and that pretty much solved my trapping at the time, because the skunk defiled the trap, as we all know that they will do. So now that's until I can get rid of the spray that's on it. So, I'll go over and this will answer your question directly. The lawful procedures for animal control officers in Park County in the state of Montana. Gather information. That's what I did. Verify it's private property. It was. Advise on initial actions. I went over many things with her, and she had already pretty much done everything under the sun, and was absolutely sick. And I agree. I don't think anybody should have to deal with a nuisance animal or property. Observe and confirm. I've already seen plenty of stray cats running around. I assess identifiability. There was one in particular that she's seen quite a few times, was a surfacing one she's had a problem with, and she saw a lot more coming through. So that just came to be, once we caught it, have you seen this one before? Yeah, I remember that one's on here, but either way, it was on her property. We caught an identifiable cat that I could not identify. Evaluate safety and welfare, again, with feces being involved. Not just spray, which is a whole different chemical compound, that's not urine, is mixed with it. But you combine spray and feces, that leaves pheromones, that makes other animals want to have the same behavior. So one pile becomes 20, and that's not fair for anybody to have to do. Capture and seizure procedures. Montana State Law, MCA Title 7, Chapter 23, Part 10, Animal Control and Protection. Authority to seize, MCA 723-101-1B. Montana law grants local governments the authority to regulate and control animals, including power to seize animals running at large. While running at large often applies to dogs, the principle extends to animals causing a public nuisance or found on private property without permission. The other subsection that is humane capture. All capture methods must be humane. Monitoring streets or minimizing stress and injury to the animal. This typically involves the use of live traps and specialized nets. I did have a wildlife trap that we got on loan from somebody because we had nothing for the town itself. Park County ordinances. Park County ordinance number 123, animal control. This ordinance defines stray animal, nuisance animal, and outlines the responsibilities of animal control officers and public regarding animal welfare and control within Park County. It specifies that any animal found at large may be impounded. Stray animal, as an animal excluding wildlife found at large or off the property of its owner, without the owner or a responsible person present and in control, or an animal whose owner cannot be readily identified. Nuisance animal, an animal that habitually barks, howls, or whines, habitually causes unsanitary conditions, habitually damages public or private property, or otherwise acts in a manner that disturbs the peace and quiet of the neighborhood or endangers the safety of persons or other animals. Owned animal, an animal for which a person has a property right, keeps, harbors, has control over, or permits to remain on premises occupied by them. Park County Ordinance number 124, animal shelter operations. This ordinance details the operation of the Park County Animal Shelter, including impoundment procedures, holding periods, odor notification, and disposition of animals. Park County Ordinance 125, leash law. This ordinance mandates that dogs and other specific animals be kept on a leash and under direct physical control when off the owner's property. Animals found in violation are subject to capture and impoundment. Clyde Park Town Codes, 802010. Definitions. A, animal means any live creature, both domestic, wild, except humans. D, at large, means any animals off the premises of the owner, keeper, or responsible custodian, not on a leash or confined within a kennel, cage, or motor vehicle, or otherwise under immediate control of a person physically capable of restraining the animal. H, nuisance, any animal, or a nuisance means any animal that unreasonably annoys humans, endangers the life or health of persons or other animals, or substantially interferes with the rights of citizens, other than their owners, to enjoy life or property. H1, any animal that is repeatedly found at large. H3, any animal that damages, soils, defiles, or defecates on any property other than that of the owner. You then have to get the permission, which I did have, of the trap placement. That just comes from common sense, in monitoring the traps, which both Simone and I did. Impounding and holding procedures. So Montana State Law MCA 723-101-1C, carrying and keeping impounded animals must be provided with humane care, including adequate food, water, and shelter. I'll add, we do not have that here. I do not have the resources to humanely keep any animal for an extended period of time.
And we are not registered as a
Yeah,
county.
even through our attorney. Holding period. Montana law mandates a holding period for stray animals to allow owners to reclaim them. While specific periods may vary by ordinance, a minimum of 72 hours for unidentified animals caught. Park County ordinances. This designated facility is Stafford Animal Shelter, is the officiated county shelter for Park County. Record keeping. They will do detailed records, including when I put in an animal, I have to put where I found them, an identification of the animal, and that I'm releasing it to them. It is in them, when Stafford gets a hold of it, they will be focusing on finding an owner. If I cannot identify an animal when I pick it up, Stafford, that is their job. For 72 hours, they will run every test they can, test for any kind of injury they may have, scan for a microchip. Whatever I couldn't do, they can. So the 72 hours from the time that it is there. After the 72 hours, if the stray remains identifiable or unclaimed, it will be assessed for adoptability by the shelter staff. Again, that's on them. Then it goes on to saying the disposition of unclaimed, which, as far as I know, Stafford is not a kill shelter. They do not practice euthanasia unless there's something detrimental to the animal's health. So to answer your question directly, if I catch an animal, which is in this case, and I cannot identify it, I have nothing here to identify what the animal is, who it belongs to. I take it to the county shelter. The county shelter will then try to run for a microchip tag, notify the owner, and give that grace period of 72 hours for somebody to call and say, hey, I've lost my animal, have you seen it? After that, they make the decision whether it's adoptable or they move forward, whatever it is. Either way, it's out of our control. I have assigned it to the county facility that is mandated to take care of at-large stray animals. And in the case with your cat, it was the same way. I have no way of identifying who it was. There was, again, we discussed no collar, and I get collars can fall off. A lot of people are against collars. If there was no microchip, I can't stand for a microchip either. So my decision, based upon not being able to hold it humanely here, was to take it to a humane shelter, where I know that they had a grace period and they would take their technology specifically made to find owners to get a hold of them. But if it's missing from there, it's out of my control, it's out of their control.
So what does this cat registration form tell you?
Excuse me, we will get to that. Thank you.
You know, it would really be nice to pause and be able to get some information at one of these meetings.
We are working on it.
I realize that.
Yes, there's much.
I just asked a simple question.
I'm
What
sorry,
does tell him?
I'm bound by protecting the town from liability. And because we are now recorded, there's a
That's
certain
good.
procedure I'm trying to just protect.
I'll let you talk and then I'll get an answer.
If you wanna make it,
Okay?
go ahead. Thank you.
Sure. So that. I have supplied, some educational stuff for the people. I know a lot of people that get polarized with the idea of keeping the cats from being at large. They are specialized, I get it, people like specialization, but to realize that if the animal is not on your property and you have no way of controlling that, it is bound to every other rule that's on there, it will be at large. So yeah, you expected that if your animal is off your property, it could be anywhere. They have a very large roaming distance. Cats follow the same trail over and over again. And if it lands into somebody else's property having problems, is it really fair that a person should have to suffer, as you told me on the phone? Should we all have to suffer for one person? That kind of goes both ways. So if your animal that you willingly let loose on your property goes someplace else and it does get caught and I can't identify it, this is the procedure that is being utilized. It's been utilized in every state that I've ever been in, including this one, as by the guidelines. And that's why we try to push again for the registration so that I can, if I pick something up, I can identify it. And I tried people have pictures, even the one with the leash or the collar that I found. I asked her, I was like, when you get your cat, can you give me your address, register, give me a picture. I want to make a book. So I'm very site oriented. She said, yes, it's already been so long and nothing. I can't make people do stuff. All we can do is try to push. And again, it is very unfortunate that it takes a very cataclysmic event to bring awareness to a lot of people, again, in a small town where everybody knows each other. But we're trying our best, at least I'm trying my best to put forth steps to be able to make a database, to be able to identify. Because there is, even if you don't let your animal out, there's obviously cats, once they get a taste of outside, they wanna be outside. And if they get out by accident, come to someplace else. So it comes down to, you have to help me help you. And we're trying to give you as much tools as we can. Cause I realize things weren't like this before, but we have a lot more influx of people coming in. I think there's so many more people than when I moved here. All of a sudden, we're growing. And people don't often take into account the way things are. So education, giving people tools. You can take a horse to water, but can you make it drink is the essential. I like to use all this time over here.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to present?
Yeah, I do have those two that are on there. I would like to, again, unpopular vote, it's not really related. It is related, but not related. It's more just me. So is it, because it's not directly related to the incident.
Yeah, let's stay with the rebuttal period. So, I would like to say, first of all, very, very sorry, Tracy. No one could have anticipated the outcome. The initial incident was responding to a resident's concern. And the town codes have always existed, primarily in the format that they still do. And the duty of the town, the governance, is to protect the health, safety, and wellness of our residents, all of our residents, including the pets. The definitions, Bo went through them, but the definitions within our codes and within the MCA and under legal dictionaries, so on and so forth, is that an animal is any creature, domestic or otherwise, as it's treated in our codes. At large is synonymous with stray, and a stray animal is any animal that is not within the property of the owner or under the immediate control of the owner. And then nuisance, we went over that already. I have been advocating for cat registration for some time, but people weren't ready for it. When I would suggest it to people, they would laugh and say, oh gosh, why do we need that? We need that, same as dogs, and in most ordinances, particularly those that are as old as ours, they tend to refer to dogs only. However, if your ordinances refer to animals, any and all domestic animals, cats are automatically included, but you've got to read it and dig into it to really know and understand that. My cat was killed by a stray dog. A dog that lives within this town, but was not on the property of its owner, not under the control. Heartbreaking. I get it. That is why, to protect all of the residents of our town, we need to know who those residents are. And so we are asking for people for free to register their animals so that we can work to return them to their owners as soon as possible when things happen and they are off the property. That is the law. They must be kept on their property. And nothing's perfect, and we're learning as we go, and we're trying to figure this out, but no one could have anticipated this entire thing. It has brought us to the point, though, of a much greater understanding as a whole. And the I'd like to just read a portion of the public notice or public comments that we posted online. We've already been through the details of the event. There are significant public health and safety concerns regarding stray animals, and the duty of the town governance is to protect the health and safety of town residents. Abiding by and participating in the observance and enforcement of the codes of governance are shared by all and are an important aspect of living in this community. What might it look like if the town hadn't taken action? Scenario, for weeks, this is a scenario. For weeks, neighbors were calling town hall about cats roaming the streets, using flower beds as litter boxes, etc. Some folks reported that their own pets were being chased or scratched. At night, the sound of fighting and yowling kept families awake. One resident even shared that her child was attacked while playing in the yard. In this scenario, if the town had not taken action, those calls would have only grown louder. Instead of people being upset that action was taken, the community would be upset that no action was taken. Social media filled with posts. Why aren't they doing anything about the stray cats? I'm paraphrasing. In that scenario, the town would be accused of ignoring public complaints and letting the problem grow. Truth is, we responded to the concerns that were brought to us. And while a deeply sad and unfortunate circumstance occurred, it came from trying to address a real and ongoing problem. Our responsibility is to balance compassion for pets with the safety and concerns of our residents. And sometimes that balance is difficult. There are subtle nuances to consider in each situation. But every step we take is done carefully, lawfully, with the intention of serving all the needs of our community as a whole. Going forward, we will be reviewing our process to strengthen communication and to add extra safeguards so that we may better balance the concerns of the community with the importance of protecting family pets. We thank our residents for their understanding as we continue to work to provide a clean, safe, and peaceful environment for the people and pets of Clyde Park. I would also like to note that we have an unusual work situation. The mayor is the CEO of the business of the town. The mayor is not a full-time employee. The mayor could be a full-time employee. I could spend all of my time and would be happy to do so to oversee all the business of the town and to overcome the things of the past that we've inherited that need to be fixed. We acted in the best way that we knew at the time. Now is the time to do better, and we're committed to that. And we put things in place to try to do that. I'll concede the floor. Are there any other comments or questions?
Can I make a comment or question? I would ask Bo if he'd be willing to use a microchip reader and maybe have the town be willing to microchip their cats. The readers are less than $40 on Amazon. What was that?
So they'll just have to learn it.
Yeah, they're so easy to use, but then we need the town to microchip if they're willing. But, you know, my feelings on it, I won't put collars on my cats because they won't leave them on, but. Oh, I thought I was a person of the town. But that's right, you want me to be your town. Okay, sorry.
Tracy Fremont,
I'm so sorry.
312 Park Avenue. I have no problem registering my cat I have left. I told you, I thought it wasn't a bad idea. You just didn't have any forewarning. It's never been approached to me before about registering my cat. When I had a dog, I always licensed it and registered or whatever. You know, I'll get you a picture as soon as I can of my remaining cat. And I would love nothing more than my neighbor or anybody else, if my cat causes problem, to let me know. I think it's disgusting what cats can do in people's places. So I'll be more than willing to register. That's not a bad idea. And I'm willing to do it, and I just did it in the wrong order, that's all.
I will say that there are times when it is advisable, I guess would be the word, that a notice not be put out. And in this case, the notice that was put out, and I apologize, was written so that it reflected a widespread trapping. That was not the case. That was miscommunication. And that was reactive. while we were still in the process of trying to figure everything out. So, but because there is, as we have seen, a times when people will be I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with words, but will not be below resorting to violence, to threats, to retribution, that for the protection of other people who may be involved in it, it may not be the right thing to put out a communication. We do our best, and we try to find advice from the town attorney, the other professionals that we have at our have at hand. So again, we will work on a communication plan. We'll try to figure it out, but there may be times when at our discretion, you will not get a town-wide notice of something for the protection of the resident. Any other comments or questions?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I just want to tell the community, thank you for all of those people that have been kind and that have reached out and registered their cats. We have a wonderful spreadsheet going and we have a better idea of whose cats are in town, and it's been nice.
Council, is there any action that you would like to see put on the next agenda regarding this?
I think I'd like to look into this, have a little bit of time, a little bit of thought, just let the emotions kind of settle a little bit, and then I do think we'll put something on next month's agenda that, you know, addresses this ordinance and all the comments and the feelings that we've taken in, you know. But I also, and again, I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but you know, we have some site permits, we have some other things that we have to go through. And so I really do take this to heart, and I truly feel for everyone involved, but I mean, we still have to operate and learn and move forward. So, and I support you guys, and you know, like I said, not everything's perfect, but I support you guys 100%.
Thank you. I would propose that the primary issue that we can address right away in the codes is whether cats should be specifically called out as dogs are. Do we change the language to specifically call out cats? It's already technically covered under the animals definition, but we can revise the code to make it more specific.
I already made a note of that.
Keep in mind, changing ordinances is a process that involves cost, attorney, so on and so forth. However, that might be an opportunity to look at the code, at least that section as a whole, and then put through resolutions and ordinances to cover it in one fell swoop.
We can get a bunch done. Done.
Is there anything else? Yes,
Just
please.
to answer your question, the way that the registration works is they're giving me a guideline to go by whenever I capture an animal. I can come in and look and see if I can identify if it's in our database, which is what that's for. It's to give us input to put into a database. That lets me try to identify the animal I have in case I'm caught yours. And if I say, even if it's loose, and I say it's a black cat with a white mustache, I can call the people that I have listed. I have black cat with white markings. I can please call them if it's in your cat. Okay, so that's what that's for, just to kind of give us as much detail as possible. For me, anyway, so that I have a number and an address, and even if I can't get hold of your number, I can go to your address and say, hey, is that look familiar to you? But, well, we don't have currently, and I think what you had mentioned before about the theft, situation, by the definitions being a willful, none of this was willful. I don't foresee.
Well, the
anything.
trap in itself was willful, and that you evaded it. So, you know, I just wanted to make that point, had you known 2 weeks before, when you first started trapping, she would still have her cat, because she would have known my cat's missing, they are trapping cats, maybe I better check with the city. That's my point. in
And
that.
and on that, again, with steady, with putting the trap situation, if you look at our broader term, the wrong legality of it, the property, the state of properties. If it's on her property, obviously it's her property.
Right.
If it is on public property, it's considered found property. If it's on somebody else's property and it's identifiable.
Well, let me ask you this, if you're trapping cats, is there gonna be a fine for the cat, the cat owners who have at-large cats? That's another area you might have to look into as well, because even the Humane Society charges, you know, if they get an animal and somebody has to go pick it up. So really, what is all of this going to encompass, I guess?
And that's something that we.
Right,
trying
you're
to-
working on, and I get it, and I think, Sydney, I do appreciate you guys and all your jobs, Mayor Sydney, sorry. But it would be wonderful to maybe have different codes or ordinances, one for the cats, one for the dogs, maybe the cats being more lenient, because they do help with rodents and everything else. I do get that it can be a nuisance, so
Very
that
much
as
so.
well. So, yeah, I know it's a big subject,
And
so.
continuing on with what the mayor had said, as far as the notification, that was. As we like to say, it was an isolated, I was responding. That notice came from something that I said that they took into heart. Again, I had one trap. How am I gonna mass trap an entire town with one trap? I mean, I can't just chop it up and put.
But still, you caught 3 cats and a skunk all at once.
Within a brick, and
Yeah.
after the third one,
Yeah,
after I caught the third cat.
yeah.
That's when I said, you know, I think maybe we need to enact a mass to be able to weed out the nuisance animals. And if I can't identify those, then they have to go to some place that can. And again, it wasn't malicious in any which way. I did exactly what you needed to do. And again, you tried to get it united back if it had an owner. And so now, like you said, we're making steps to try to put something that gives me more guidelines to go by any of it, as a matter of fact. That you can say, oh, we saw this, somebody can, I saw this kind of cat jumping over my fence, I can look it up, look up the dictation, find who the owner is and say, hey, they've been found. Way over here on the east side of town, way over here on the west side of town. That's all that I had. I just feel those were unresolved questions. From earlier.
I did forget to ask the question, have we solved her problem yet?
I hadn't stopped because I had I
Right.
just got the other traps that I ordered in.
Okay.
But I have another skunk trap, I guess, because the skunks there mow the liver of the skunks, and now I have 3 skunk traps.
Okay, and I have an enzyme spray that works pretty.
All right,
good.
it's getting late. Is there any other new information? We've covered most of what I'm hearing now, so any other new information regarding this issue that anyone would wish to share?
Can I just say something?
Yes, thank you.
Because you're out here tonight, you know, we do have these cat registrations. Just take some, and if you know people that have cats, thank you. That have cats, this would really help us so that, you know, this, instead of something like this doesn't happen again, because then we'll have. At least we'll have, you know,
Pictures are very
Pictures,
helpful. We
so
have a digital
descriptions
camera
or-
here as well.
is that, let's see, keep this up for now.
All right, I'm sorry, yeah, we're getting late, thank you. Any other comments anyone wishes to make? Okay, I think we've come to a conclusion here. I invite everyone to stay if you like for the remaining part of the meeting, but I know again, the bus drivers have to get up early. Many of us have places to be in the morning, so thank you all. Thank you all for participating. It's very valued. And then we just will continue on with the rest of the administrative stuff.
Say pooch.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Council, do you need to stand and stretch?
No.
Go to the bathroom, anything?
But I do have a hard stop.
To resume, we're calling the meeting back to order. Can you please, Simone? I'm sorry. Simone.
This is as.
Thank you. We're calling the meeting back to order. All right, next on it, site permits, 403 Short Street and 504 East Avenue, as I have a interest in the 504 East Avenue, I will yield the floor to the chair, president, as chair of the meeting in this particular aspect.
Excellent. 504 East Avenue. See, lean-to for stacking. Let's go find it.
Oh.
Anybody have the main form?
I have it.
Thank
So you're
you.
looking for-
It is.
This is the original one, the thing is the same.
Is that the one we have to sign? Whose house is this?
It's
Oh,
Hey, Mayor.
okay.
Mayor.
Oh, I saw this earlier.
It,
Firewood,
I
okay.
think David made a slight change to, instead of concrete footings, they're known as tough blocks.
Oh, I think we could just call it concrete footing.
No, the original has the tough blocks on it.
Okay, can you send that around, please?
Yep. It has been reviewed by the town CSO for.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that if you took a look at it already. Cool. Do we need fire to take a look at it, or do you feel good about it?
This session has been basically temporary.
Perfect. That's what I wanna hear. I'm good with it. Pass it around if you guys are interested. Yeah, it's just off the back of the shed.
Thank you. This is just in response to the flooding. They put in a drain line from the house to the end of the driveway. And then are going to put a culvert going beneath their driveway, the portion that's on the town right of way. Just to direct the water into the ditch, because there's only a ditch on one side of the driveway.
Okay, who's gonna do the work?
The owners, you know,
Oh, okay, perfect.
And the town owns that ditch? Or does that not?
it's part of the right of way, yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
It's okay for them to put a culvert in on the town right away, right? It's actually
well, the driveway.
advisable.
Yeah,
Under
for
the
Yeah.
probably the driveway.
Under the town.
Yeah, I know there's so many things we can't do. And the CSO looked at this one.
Yeah.
So it's a sub pump beneath the house and they're gonna bury the line. And they're going under the sidewalk, or does the sidewalk end there?
No, there's no sidewalk.
Okay,
I mean, they have a approach to the door, but it's far away from anything town related.
yeah, the sump pump's just going into this French drain here.
Okay, I always kinda, if Bo looked at it, I mean, I kind of
Yeah.
fall on Roger about these, this is more his
I
wheelhouse.
mean, I agree, but
But,
if you feel comfortable with it, it's nothing
Yeah,
obviously
there's
weird.
always been a problem. Water on that property.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not too far from that creek that runs over to the agriculture that we have a problem with the leaching.
Yeah,
Are you, did you sign?
I did. You know, the more drainage solutions we have in place, the better.
Can I have, or sorry, motion to approve the top comments?
Yeah, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the site permits.
I'll make a motion, make a motion that we approve the 2 site permits.
Wait, so
Or-
you're making the motion,
I'm entertaining it.
He's entertaining,
Oh.
he's chairman. I make a motion that we approve 504 East Avenue, 403 Short Streets permits.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Simone. Good night.
Night.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Hi.
Alright,
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney.
Next on the agenda is the cemetery board
Oh,
request to raise the cemetery plot fee from $50 to $150. This does not include the fees like the recording fees, so on and so forth.
that requires a motion, right? It's in the code book.
So who pays the fees? The town or the?
No.
person buying the
No,
plot.
when you go by the plot for your dearly
Okay,
departed.
yes.
What,
They searched and this 150 is right in the middle.
and I feel like we've discussed that these cemetery these plot fees have been low for a long time.
I think on 2 other occasions
On
we've
at
had
least,
this
yeah.
conversation. And I'm glad to see a separate committee addressing the issue. So we know we were on the right track.
As far as I'm concerned, they're doing the work, so if they recommend this, I'm happy to go with it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
About-
it's
about
out of line at all. I mean, it's still pretty cheap.
that $150 day, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Well, the costs have gone up,
To maintain.
instance, yeah,
Well, that's fair,
and the
always,
fees and
right?
everything, so. But
I'll make a motion that we approve the cemetery board's request.
I'll second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oops, motion passes, thank you all. Last thing on there is a proposal by Councillor Chandler for roundabout, but as the councillor is not present to make the presentation. I don't see a point of discussion, but I would entertain if you would like to make suggestions for what you would need to see from the council member in order to give this deliberation.
So we can table this until next month?
Yeah.
Per Roger being here.
I would like to see the cost and like drawings and how he would execute it.
And I'm also. I don't know, I mean, I'd love to know more about roundabouts. I mean, I get them going into really high traffic areas. Is this a high enough traffic area to warrant a roundabout? And I feel like when I've seen roundabouts go in before, there is a traffic study conducted in the proposed area to, justify the cost and the time of the project involved. Cause I imagine this is a fairly expensive, project, it's a fairly expensive project, so I feel like we need to be able to say, these are the numbers that support it, this is how we can justify the cost. I mean, I appreciate Roger, again, we're just trying to figure out ways to address the speeding issue, and I appreciate any ideas, but something that costs this much versus a speed bump, I feel like we need to have something to back it up.
I just don't see how people are getting the speed up on that street from the highway up to the stop sign to really. I mean, I just don't see that happening.
The other question is, does it impede parking at either location?
Well, then you got, in this town, we've got people coming through with big equipment. Semis that are coming through, these roundabouts are not the greatest thing for big rigs going through town or
Combine.
a combine or, I see it all the time going by my house, big tractors,
I wonder if it might be better to have,
have a one way
Having-
going that way, no.
yeah, having per bid, we have a stop sign or a yield sign, because even tonight, as on my way here, I almost pulled out in front of Skip and Nancy as they were driving down to the meeting, because they were hurrying and I was hurrying.
Well, I'll hear about that
So,
tomorrow, no, I'm just kidding.
I know, it was scary, and I was like, dang, I need to slow down, but I think that's what he's trying to address, is that situation. But
I apologize to those of you in the audience. I forgot after each section to ask for comments, so please let me
Yes.
know if you want to make any comments.
All right, well, I move we table the further discussion of the roundabout to next week when Roger's back. Thanks.
Next month.
Next month.
oh, you moved, I'll second that.
Excellent.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Roger's not here.
Oh, I'm sorry, any other questions?
I move we
Roger's
adjourn
not
this
here.
meeting.
Thank you, James.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion seconded. All right, thank you, everyone.
Maybe 5 minutes to spare. I gotta be on for 2, Brian.
There we go.
All right,
You gotta be back in the.
back in the saddle in 5 minutes, bro. We did it though.
I know, I didn't think I could wait another hour,
Hey, James,
and I had gone out to dinner, so I drank a ton of water.
were they really, did you really have Jones?